some good news. I mean, to be fair, the last video was good news too. But this is even better because now we're talking about what really matters. Video games. Stop Killing Games hit 1 million signatures. And it is continuing to go up. Here we go.
Hey, I have some announcements on Stop Killing Games. And I'm going to be looking away a lot because my mind tends to go blank when I look into the camera, and I don't want to memorize this.
Yeah.
Okay, the breaking news. The European Citizens Initiative has crossed 1 million signatures.
A milli.
Except it hasn't. This is going to kill morale, but there are two things going on here.
Yep.
The first we knew was coming. Every time somebody makes a mistake when they sign the initiative, their signature gets invalidated.
Yeah, sure.
So that means we need more signatures to make up for everybody's mistakes.
Yep, keep pushing it.
It kind of reminds me of multiplayer games when you see somebody who just has no idea what they're doing, like they're attacking a wall or something. So in this case,
this guy must have played WoW.
We need to pick up the slack for the people
WoW
who literally can't write their own name properly. That could be a lot. I've heard 10% minimum, 20% is better, 40% should be really safe. Or it would be, but we have a second problem.
What's that?
I've received several reports of people claiming to spoof signatures on the initiative site. First off, I want to say that this is not a change.org petition. This is a government process. Spoofing signatures on it is a crime. Please do not do this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people did this, but I would say the amount of people that are signing it that have problems with their signature is probably between 10 and 15% of people.
They'll be checked later by the EU
Somewhere
Commission.
around there.
And my guess is the fake ones will get turned over to Europol or Interpol, and they'll follow up on this.
That's good for them.
If it's coming from America, Interpol is known to cooperate a lot with the FBI. Now, will they prosecute people on this?
No, there's no way.
I have no idea.
But it's not a good idea to do.
Europe takes its political processes pretty seriously, so I would think the more it's being spoofed, the more they might send law enforcement after people doing this.
True, yeah. Maybe a certain example.
I would not suggest doing this.
It's a good point.
It seems like a bad thing to risk going to prison over. But the problem here is I am now in a complete fog as to how much this affects the initiative. Now don't worry. None of this will invalidate the initiative. All legitimate signatures will still count. But that 1 million number? Yeah, it might not be real. I think we have at least...
It's already how many does it have right now? It's probably up to 1 million and about 50,000 or so. Is that accurate? Pirate said that he would actively work against SKG. Well, it didn't work.
600, 700,000 real signatures. Beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah, almost 50K. Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Maybe it's just one or two people who tried it, and this is nothing to worry about. Or maybe it's a sophisticated botnet spoofing hundreds of thousands of signatures.
It's probably just retards that put in the wrong data.
I have no clue.
That's what I would assume the majority
of it is.
In
fact, I noticed a few days ago, we were getting a good rise in the day, European time.
Yeah.
But then it would fall off a lot at night because people were going to bed.
That would make sense.
Now it seems like it's rising a lot through the night. So maybe most of this is an illusion now.
So I see his point of view, but consider another point of view, which is because there's so much external inorganic traffic to the website through people who are in other countries besides the European Union countries that are driving attention to it, that is going to change the pattern of usage. Because those people are making these calls to action at times that there are less European users awake or active because of just by the time that normal people here do it, right? And so I think that because there's been so many Western calls to action, that could be the reason why you're seeing that different distribution of usage. It also could be deliberate sabotage. Well, people are saying you need an ID and everything to do this. I mean, I don't think that you can just do this out of nowhere.
I've won anything. I have to give credit where it's due.
Releases? Yeah, exactly.
I was looking forward to reaching a safe margin and putting this behind me. But now I guess I have to keep this up until July 31st because now there's no such thing as a safe margin. I have no idea
A bigger number is always better. So it's better to keep pushing. And I think Ross is very smart, and he's also being reasonable and level-headed about this, where it's like a huge update, a massive success, but also maintaining a degree of skepticism and logic and not just giving up or forgetting about it.
Real now. So for people who hate the initiative, you got me.
It's better to be pessimistic.
And now I'm on the hook even longer.
Being safe.
I will be so happy for this campaign to end. Actually, if you're really good at data analysis, I'd say try to look at those first couple days around June 24th and 25th, especially when Moist Critical dropped his video.
Yep.
I remember seeing about a 5% increase in signatures proportional to his views. So it might be safe to assume big YouTube views translate to 5% real signatures.
Yeah.
Maybe you can figure out what a real margin needs to be.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do it with Moist Critical. You'd have to look at it with different people. So, for example, like if CDawg made a video about it or PewDiePie made a video about it, both Japanese users, they probably have a different makeup of American to European audiences. So you can't even use a 5% ratio because Charlie is in Florida in the United States. And so the majority of his audience is probably going to be from that same country. So you'd have to, like, there are too many different levels of telemetry that you'd need to have. And a lot of that data isn't available publicly in terms of demographic percentages that you could then cross-reference to assume that there would be a certain amount of, click-through rate through a video into a signature, right? Because you could measure that, but the different data points that you would need for that are not public.
So yeah, that sucks.
It's just how it is.
We'll just keep plotting away unless we can figure out what the safe numbers are.
There's other variables too.
Sorry,
like for example, like a diminishing return. Like somebody makes 3 videos on it. Okay, the third video is not going to have the effect the first video will.
This isn't a big victory celebration. This is just kind of suspenseful and tense instead.
It is suspenseful.
And will probably hurt morale of people signing.
Yes.
You know how in World War II, the Japanese had soldiers entrenched in a bunch of Pacific islands?
Oh, no.
Except some of them never got the memo when the war ended in 1945.
Yeah.
So they just stayed there for years, assuming the war was still on.
Is that going to be you?
That's kind of where I am right now mentally. At least it all ends in a month. Okay, another announcement.
That's when it begins. No, that's when it begins. Because then you're going to have, best case scenario, lawmakers evaluating that and then making decisions themselves. That's going to be even bigger than this is.
We've gotten reports that some countries, I think Italy and Belgium especially, where sometimes the digital ID system didn't work. In those cases, I'd say either use the manual method, which we have instructions for on StopKillingGames.com, or you could try coming back in a few days and see if it's working.
Yeah.
Another news item, I've been told someone has launched a cryptocurrency based on Stop Killing Games. Dumbest timeline, guys. Just so everyone's clear, that had nothing to do with us.
Oh, really?
I have no clue who would even want that. I'm sure it's a scam. So, yeah, that's all there is to it.
Plot twist.
Something
it's
else
pirate
to cover
software.
quick is I've heard a couple reports of people harassing pirate software.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like this goes without saying, but if it doesn't, no. Of course we do not endorse harassing him.
It's fine to disagree with the points that he makes in videos, but whenever you take that and you turn it into personal attacks that transcend the argument of the video, all you're doing is being a bitch.
I mean, I said in my response video, I wished him no ill will, and I meant that.
Yeah, he just disagreed with it.
When people's lives are better, they tend to be less inclined to foment some sort of revenge. And I'm taking on enough heat already without adding to the pile.
True.
I mean, I'm getting some crazies heading my way, too. Though I can believe it's not as many.
Mm-hmm.
I also pointed out last time, whatever damage Thor did to the campaign has been neutralized.
Yeah.
So whatever happens is not on him anymore. I'm focused on the signatures. If Thor and I never bother each other again, that is just fine by me. I also don't hold him responsible for anything his fan base does. I'm not a fan of collective punishment.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, Stop Killing Games is a populist movement.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very definition of messy. I can control that like I can control the weather. Oh, and speaking of barely keeping up, I've been having to play
Well,
triage on
about
emails
that.
and messages and prioritize the ones most critical for the campaign.
Yep.
So a lot of you are going to get a delayed response, but I should mostly catch up eventually.
He's a good guy.
Okay, the final announcement.
Yes. What is
The
it?
UK government petition has cleared 100,000
Wow.
signatures. And I suspect
And
these
that's 134%, by the way. Like, bro, like that's like a third again more than what they needed. This is massive.
signatures are more legit.
Huge.
Though you can keep on signing
Big.
it too as a safety margin. More will not hurt anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we expect from this? I honestly have no idea.
Yes.
I would bet money on the EU initiative delivering something good if it passes. But the UK has been more about exhausting all options. I will say whatever happens cannot be worse than the old answer from the Department of Media, Culture, and Sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get to
They don't give a
leapfrog over
fuck.
this
Yeah,
garbage.
exactly.
This really is recycled garbage.
Uh-huh.
Remember, we tried to launch this last year, and they gave us an answer that was so bad, it was rejected by the Petitions Committee, and they told government to try again because this didn't answer the question. But then, Parliament was dissolved. And when it came back
Perfect.
and we relaunched again, we got the same answer copied and pasted into the new one. Just
So it's wow. Okay, great. Perfect.
rearranged a little bit. Part of me suspects
They
all
just don't give
action
a
in
fuck.
the UK has been held up by one grumpy bureaucrat in the department. Well, now we can ignore that crap and head straight to Parliament. I mean, they cannot do worse than this. A member of Parliament could sneeze on the petition, and that would not be a worse answer. And that's the one guaranteed thing we'll get out of this, which is answers.
Yep. They're gonna talk about it.
Now, for those of you wanting to juice this further, it's been brought to my attention there's a page for finding out who your member of parliament is if you want to reach out and tell them, yes, bring this up.
You and Jacksepticeye did 70% of the work. I actually think that I played a very, very minimal role in this. Maybe at the beginning I played a pretty big role, but in terms of the resurgence, I don't think that I did. I think that the main guys that really took this over the edge were Charlie, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and a few other dudes. Like, I really think it was those guys that did it. Because, like, again, I had already talked about this. My audience already knew about this. But those other guys, you know, they hadn't really gotten into it. I think Charlie made, like, one video about it, but that was it.
Parliament. I'd say,
yeah, for sure.
that could help. But that absolutely is more work than signing your name, so I'm keeping my expectations in check.
Yeah, really?
There's a link in the description
Pirate
of this
Drama
video.
brought attention to it? Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Just keep pushing. Now we're in the fog.
Yep, there it is, bro. Look at his eyes. Bro. Bro. He's out for blood. He's gonna get this petition signed, whether you like it or not. You're getting signed, that motherfucker. It's the Hate for Pirate Software that did it. No, I think that people like PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye, I think the support for it was totally completely organic. That's what I would say. And he always looking crazy. Yeah, a little bit. The pirate stuff kicked it off. The pirate stuff was really popular on social media, but I don't think that it was a real big activator in terms of making this happen. I think this is a great thing. It's an amazing thing. I totally support it. I think you guys really should try to give a video and, give a sub to Ross with the Cursed Farms here. I mean, it's really because of him that all of this has happened. I mean, he put this on his back, 10, 11 months ago, and now it's finally coming to fruition. And so this is an incredible accomplishment. And even if it doesn't go anywhere and nothing is accomplished by this, I think it was still a heroic effort. And it was something that he did that nobody else did. And so no matter what happens, I think he deserves a lot of respect and credibility for this. And I think that everybody should appreciate at least his attempt, if not his effort in making video gaming better. So yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan. I totally support him. Absolutely. Let me link it again. And there it is.